Chapter 16. Mapping the Neighborhood. The people who live near us are called neighbors. The surroundings in which they live are called neighborhood. When we want to find somebody's house or some particular establishment, we see the houses, number or names of the streets. But in earlier times, people did not have either of these. So people made their own ways and methods to find their way back. Some of these ways were piling stones on top of one another, making a mark on the bark of a tree, identifying islands or rocks in the sea. When we go to nearby places, there would be people who would help us to find places by drawing rough sketches of the way. But, as methods of transport improved, people needed a better way to find directions to distant places. So maps were invented. Landmarks, sketches, directions, maps, signs and symbols help us to locate a place where we have to reach. Map. A map is a small drawing of a geographical area or part of it on a flat surface, like paper. Maps show us how places are positioned in relation to each other. This helps us find places easily. A map can be of a small area such as a neighborhood, or of a very large area, like of the whole world. A book of maps is called an atlas. A person who makes maps is called a cartographer. The art of making maps is called cartography. Maps have certain advantages over globes. These are: maps are easy to study. All places can be seen at the same time, unlike on the globe where it is difficult to see all places at the same time. Maps are handy and they can be easily carried from one place to another. Small globes are difficult to study. Big globes are heavy and difficult to carry. Maps show areas in detail, while a globe cannot show detailed information. Types of maps. Physical map, political map, thematic map. It depicts the physical features such as hills, valleys, plains, deserts, rivers, lakes, seas and oceans. It depicts the international boundaries, countries, capital cities, states and other important places. It depicts a certain theme or topic such as minerals found, crops grown, types of soil found, pattern of rainfall of a particular area. Landmarks, sketches, directions, maps, signs and symbols help us to locate a place where we have to reach. These components form the language of a map. Let us study each component in detail. Landmark. A landmark is an important point or place of reference that helps us to locate a place. Such a place of reference can be a house, school, market, hospital, monument, hotel, cinema hall, pond, river, bus stand, park, temple, mosque, church or even a tree or a pole which is easily recognizable in any locality or neighborhood. Sketch. A sketch is a rough drawing of a place. It is not an exact drawing. It usually has symbols to represent important places. Direction. Directions are the most important component of a map. They help us in locating the places. The top of a map is marked north. The bottom is marked south. East is to the right of the map. West is to the left of the map. These four directions are called the cardinal directions. There are some other directions too which are known as intermediate directions. Northeast lies between the north and the east. Southeast lies between the south and the east. Southwest lies between the south and the west. Northwest, lies between the north and the west. Signs, symbols and colors. Signs and symbols are used to represent important information like an international boundary, railways, temple, mosque, church, bridge, dam, forest, river, mountain, habitation, etc. All maps follow a common color scheme to show different features. For example, blue, water, bodies like rivers, lakes, oceans and seas. Green, vegetation, forests and orchards. Brown, highlands, mountains and deserts. Black, man-made, features like buildings and roads. White, ice. Red, plateaus. Yellow, plains. Other colors may be used to show special information that varies from map to map. Legends. A legend is a small box on the map which shows us a list of symbols that are used in the map and what each symbol represents. Scale. A scale is an important part of the language of a map. It relates the distance between places on a map and the actual distance between places. For example, the distance between Delhi and Guwahati is 2000 kilometers. But on the map the distance between the two places is only 20 centimeters. That is, 1 centimeter equals 100 kilometers. This is known as the scale of a map. The scale is the ratio between the distance on the map and the distance on the ground. There are two types of scales. In the first type of scale, we use a statement, 1 centimeter equals 100 kilometers. It means that 1 centimeter on the map represents 100 kilometers on the ground. In the second type of scale, we use a line. This is known as the linear scale. This line is divided into a number of parts. Each part of the line represents some ground distance. Word bank. Reference, the act of looking at something for information. Symbol, a letter, character or sign used instead of a word or a group of words. Scale, ratio between a distance shown on a map and the actual distance on the ground. Legend, used to understand the symbols shown on a map. Cardinal, of prime importance. In a nutshell, the people who live close to our house are called our neighbors. The best way to locate a place is to remember some landmarks such as a school, a hospital, a park, etc. A sketch is a rough drawing of a place. The four directions, east, west, north and south are very important in locating different places. A map is a drawing of an area or part of it on a flat surface like paper. Maps are mostly of two types, physical and political. A scale is an important part of a map. Signs and symbols are used to represent important information on maps. Different colors are used to represent different landforms and water bodies.